shoulder felt like safety, and I could hide in her arms and cry, because I knew then that crying was okay.
And then we forget.
When my dad seemed like a giant who could protect me from anything, and his arms were armies that kept out the world.
And then we forget.
The way the room was barren, the walls that would soon be painted over, the splatters from my childhood erased, the trees outside, the pool I walked to in the summer, the church the 8th graders graduated in, the Mexican place that knew our orders by heart, and the sodas there I still hadn't tried. But soon it will fade from memory.
And then we forget.
The new house is huge, cold tiles with negative space between the walls, and it is not home, but a library is. And it's the last book of the series, and the narrator's voice is deep and sullen, and when I play it and the sun shines through the windows, it's almost home.
And then we forget.
Growing up, I learned to play pretend. My friends were all rubes, a tragic thing to learn when you're barely 10. Until we learn to play a part so early, it's almost sickening. A comedy and tragedy prevails as playtime becomes a battlefield.
And then we forget.
What no child wants is to calculate each step, counting the seconds till lunch is over. Growing up is a scary feat, a never-ending play, a facade racking up in points, and then suddenly we're 12, and then suddenly we forget.
In a sea of dark thoughts, one light shone through. In rough waves of middle school, I knew when you feel scared and alone, you seek a friend. Those who left, we envy. Those who stay, we pity.
And then we forget.
The happy child we once knew faded into memory. The pleasures of childhood fleeting, and the excitement of adulthood is calling. When you're not ready to leave the nest, but you want to soar, the protection of parents fleeting, revealing the real fucking horrors.
And then we forget.
And now we can drive. We're immature. We will crash. We go to parties and get absolutely trashed. We get drunk. We get high. We are under the influence of our drunken high parents. We take after them. We drink and drink until we spill everything out in a muddle of responsibilities and vomit.
And then we forget.
We have to leave. We are leaving the comfortable hold that is having a schedule. We are baby birds being thrown out of our nest and have no clue how to fly. We need to find a college. Why haven't you found a college yet? Do you have a job? Get a job, you pathetic piece of shit. If you don't get out of my house at 18, you are a disappointment to this family. Why are you scared of debt? When I was a kid, I could afford a house and food for the family with minimum wage.
And then we forget.
I want to be 2, 3, 4 again. I want to be 5, 6, 7 again. I want to be 10, 11, 12 again. I don't want to be 20. I don't want to be lonely in a dorm that doesn't feel like my own. I'm only still a kid, so why are the world's problems already on my shoulders?
And then we forget. For life relents, we live, and then we repent, and then we forget.